He looked me up and down, his gaze lingering a little too long before he smirked and said, "That dress is doing too much." I didn't say a word. I just smiled. Because it wasn't about the dress. It never was. From the first moment I met Ethan, there'd been something between us, something quiet, charged, and dangerous. He was my best friend's business partner, the kind of man who carried confidence like it was part of his wardrobe. He never said much, but when he did, people listened. Especially me. For weeks, we'd been dancing around this tension neither of us wanted to name. Our conversations always went a little longer than they should have. Our eyes found each other in crowded rooms, as if the noise faded every time he looked my way. And that night, under the hum of low music and dim lights, I was done pretending I didn't feel it too. The dress, midnight blue, satin, a little too daring, wasn't for attention. It was for clarity. I needed to know if the pull I felt was real, or just my imagination. When he made that comment, that half-smile curling at the corner of his lips, I stepped closer, slow, deliberate. Close enough for him to smell the jasmine on my skin. His smirk faltered just a little. I leaned in, my voice a whisper meant for him alone. "Maybe you just can't handle it." Then I walked away. Not far, just enough to make him wonder if he should follow. And of course, he did. I felt his presence before I heard his footsteps. When I turned, he was already there, eyes locked on me like the rest of the room had disappeared. "You always do this," he said softly. "You light a fire and walk away before it burns." I tilted my head, lips curling. "And you always follow." The air between us thickened. One breath, and I could feel the space close in, like something invisible was pulling us together. It wasn't a game anymore. It was something dangerous, real. But just when he reached me, I heard another voice. "Ethan." A woman's voice. Familiar. Too familiar. I turned my head slightly and saw her, Ava. His longtime friend, the one who always stood a little too close, who laughed a little too easily when he spoke. She had that kind of confidence that made other women question themselves, and I hated that she had it with him. He hesitated, turning toward her with a half-smile that didn't quite reach his eyes. My chest tightened, not from jealousy exactly, but from the sting of uncertainty. Maybe I had misread everything. Maybe it was all just in my head. Still, I didn't move. I wanted to see what he'd do when I wasn't the one filling the silence. Ava called his name again, louder this time, but Ethan's eyes found mine instead. There was a flicker there, a question, a decision. Then, slowly, he started walking toward me again. Every step felt deliberate, like he was crossing some invisible line we both knew existed. The music faded. The world shrank until it was just us. When he stopped in front of me, his voice dropped. "You make everything complicated." I smiled faintly. "No. I just make it honest." Before he could answer, his phone buzzed. He glanced down, and I caught a glimpse of the screen. Her name. Ava. And a message that made my stomach twist. "Tell her the truth." I blinked. "What truth?" He froze. For the first time that night, Ethan looked uncertain. His jaw tightened, eyes darting toward the exit like he was weighing his next move. "It's not what you think," he said, his voice low. "Then tell me what it is." He hesitated, then exhaled, the kind of breath you take when you're about to destroy something. "She's not just a friend. She's my ex. And she never really left." My heart sank. "So, what was all this?" I asked, my voice quiet but sharp. He looked torn, almost guilty. "You made me feel something real again," he said finally. "But I never told her it was over for good." The honesty hit harder than the lie ever could have. For a moment, everything stood still. I took a step back, then smiled, a small, deliberate one. "Then let me help you decide." I turned and walked toward the door. My heels echoed against the floor like punctuation marks to a sentence I was done writing. But before I could leave, my phone buzzed. Unknown number. I almost ignored it, until I saw her name. Ava. Curiosity 1. I answered. Her voice was calm. Too calm. "He's good at making people feel special," she said. I believed him too. Until I saw him do the same thing, with someone else before you. My throat tightened. Why are you telling me this? Because I thought you should know what kind of fire you're playing with. Then she hung up. I stood there, staring at the empty screen, the music still pulsing somewhere behind me. When I turned, Ethan was still there waiting for a reaction, guilt shadowing his face. It's not me you need to be honest with, I said quietly. It's yourself. Then I walked out. This time, he didn't follow. Outside, the cool night air hit my skin, grounding me. I realized I didn't need closure from him. I already had it. Because sometimes the most powerful thing you can do isn't to make someone chase you, it's to stop running in circles around people who can't meet you where you stand. Maybe that dress was doing too much. But it reminded me of something I'd forgotten. I don't have to dim my fire for someone who's afraid to get burned. And as I walked away, I finally understood he didn't say my dress was doing too much because of how I looked. He said it because of how it made him feel. Because it made him realize I was never his to control. He said my dress was doing too much. But maybe it was just doing enough to show me the truth.